sounds like you pretty much want things your way. You want the tax hike, albeit maybe not for FY10. You want smaller cuts in education. You want smaller cuts in social services. It sounds like a little bit like you're holding your breath till you turn blue here.
I believe that we have made it perfectly clear, and I think the people of Arizona would agree with me, that we cannot continue to decimate education. We have cut education, and I am not willing to decimate education. We have been at the table during the negotiations after their budget was passed, and we have made adjustments. I have given in on several different issues. I have compromised. We are now at the point in the budget negotiations where I feel it is important that we come in truth and honesty. I will not allow K-12 education to be decimated, nor will I allow the elderly, the children, and the most frail of our society to be put at risk.
So where have you compromised?
On a lot of different issues.
Like?
I'm not going to discuss that today.
Governor, just to be clear, what actions have you taken with the Supreme Court, or do you intend to take? What has happened so far?
I have just come out of the Supreme Court filing for a petition for special action to ask the Supreme Court to allow me, or allow the legislature, or tell the legislature to do their job, to send me the bills as provided in the Constitution. Basically, I believe strongly that the legislature has usurped the power of the governor's office.
Governor, in your opinion, can you just explain what this government shutdown will really look like come July 1 if no compromise is made and nothing is passed?
If we are forced and the legislature doesn't get a budget passed and that I sign, we will be forced to shut down government. That means that several necessary things the government provides will no longer be there. We will try to keep the skeletal government going. It makes it very difficult. We've got people in prisons. We've got people that are providing services to children. We've got people that are providing services to the general public, driver's license. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. All of that would be on a skeletal basis.
But what would be cut if I could ask?
We are in the process now of putting that plan together.
Governor, the House of both chambers
says that the legislature must hand a budget to you, but it doesn't specify how quickly. How optimistic are you that what do you hope to achieve? Do you hope that they will hand this over in the next day, in the next week? And there's nothing in the Constitution that says they must.
The Constitution says that they must present the budget to the governor. The governor participates in the process. The fact of the matter is, conditionally, and I think the Constitution says that in a reasonable time. I believe today, 14 days later, has been a reasonable time. It's unfortunate. I have served in the legislature. I respect the legislature. I am now governor. I respect that office too. But I cannot allow the legislature to usurp the power of the executive branch of government. It takes the Senate, the House, and the governor to come forth with a budget for the people of Arizona. Traditionally, they've been able to work the process out so that that's what can happen. We all realize, and I'll be very frank with you today, and I learned at a very young age, you know, people sometimes like to trick you. Well, I am not going to wait until June 30th to have them so much more or less trick the governor's office by dropping a budget on my desk on the 30th and to have government shut down. It's imperative for the people of Arizona to understand that I am fighting for the people of Arizona and respect that they need to get that budget to me so that we can determine what we are going to do, so that we do have a budget, so that government does not shut down.
Governor, do you feel that that's what they're trying to do,
that
is trying to wait till the 11th hour and then make the decision so it looks like you're the one that's forcing the government to shut down?
I suspect that.
Governor, how will they be penalized under this action?
I'm sorry, Barbara.
How will they be penalized if they don't give you the bills? Just how will the force of law make them hand over those bills or else?
Well, I don't know how they will be penalized. They certainly are put into office by the voters of Arizona, as is all elected officials. The unfortunate thing is that the people of Arizona are going to be penalized if we don't get a budget done.
Governor, you've asked that those bills be sent to you. You've said you probably won't sign them. Does that mean, in effect, that you want an entire new budget to come out of the legislature, whereas the legislators are saying they want to amend the current one to your liking? So are you looking for an entire new budget from them?
There's a numerous amount of ways that we can solve this problem. They've got an existing budget. They can work with that and amend it on the floor. The House is down there and send it up all at one time, along with the proposed temporary tax increase. Or they can redraft a whole new budget and send it up to me. This is something that can be done very quickly. The budget that they have on their desk today was done in about 3 days and worked on over the weekend and passed on a Monday and held. So it's not impossible, and I feel hopeful. I want to be hopeful. I believe that they will respond and realize that it is a process that includes both the House and the Senate and the governor. And I look forward to meeting with them this afternoon if they respond to my request on the letter that I sent them this morning at 3 p.m. and hope that they come to negotiate and to solve the problems that we are facing.
Governor, how do you close the budget if you take the sales tax revenue out of 2010? How do you close that?
We've had to move forward on both sides and determine that we're going to have to do some borrowing and some budget things that I'm not real comfortable with at work, and deal with that next year. Certainly when I put out my 5-point plan, I knew the huge deficit that Arizona was facing. I was a realist. I knew that we were in for a 3-year bad time, facing poor management of the last 6 years, the economy was down here. So I said we need to do budget reform, we need to do tax reform, we need to do Vision 105, we need to do cutting, and at the very last resort, we would have to do a temporary tax increase. I believe fully in my heart, if we would have done that, we would have had a solution that we would have all come together and work on. Unfortunately, the legislature didn't listen to my plan, and they went on forward with their plan. So even though we get this budget passed, and I'm hopeful that we will, 2011, 2012, at this point in time, this is jeopardy, and we have bigger problems than that. This is a beginning, and I just hope that the Supreme Court compels them to send the budget to the governor, who is the person in the process that we ought to have been working together all along in this direction, and get us all back together on track and get it finished.
Governor,
wait, one last question.
Why should they come back to the table? You say you want to come back. You just sued them. I mean, that's not the way to make friends and influence people. Why should they come back to the table till this is resolved?
Well, I don't think it's unusual for anyone when they cannot get something agreed upon amongst themselves and they don't go to the courts. I think that's why we have a judicial system in America, and I have exercised my right to file a special action with the Supreme Court in order to move them forward so that government doesn't shut down. I feel that what I'm doing is right. It's right for the people of Arizona, and it's right to get an answer. The legislature cannot observe the executive branch's responsibility. If that were to happen, that would mean that any legislative body today or in the future could actually wait until June 30th, do whatever they wanted, send it to the governor. And if the governor did not agree, it was if they would either shut government down. I believe that's the framers of our Constitution. So today, we are exercising our right to file in the Supreme Court, and I hope that they respond positively and that we get the bills on my desk. And I hope that the Speaker and the President come to my office today, and that we will continue trying to negotiate this out and deliver a product for the people of Arizona so that education isn't decimated and the most frail, our elderly and children, aren't left behind, and that we have a budget that delivers us the services that people expect from their taxes.
quick follow-up. How soon do you think you might get a response from the court?
Yeah, when